So the first one in the lines menu, and I might minimize the points there, is straight, and as the name implies, it allows us to add a straight line. So if I come into this skirt over here, straight, I can use existing points, so I can go left click there and left click there, and it will add a line there for me, or I can just do it in mid-air if I wanted to as well, in any direction, both inside and outside the pattern piece. So I'll just undo those, Control Z. If you want to constrain a line so that it is perfectly straight, what you need to do is you click to start the line and then you hold down the Control key. So this is different from most other software programs. The Control key is what is constraining it, not the Shift key. So click and click again, and I've got a straight line in either direction. What you'll find, if you hold down the Control key and you move your mouse away enough, it will actually constrain it and snap into 45-degree angles there as well. So if I wanted one at 45 degrees, it will be there. You need to keep holding down your Control key, left click your mouse, and then you can remove your fingers from the constraining keys. What you can also do, so if you had a line that was angled and you want to do a line that is perfectly 90 degrees from that line, you need to hold down your Shift key before you click the line. And when you hold down the Shift key, it's giving you these directional arrows, and then I can let go of my Shift key, and then if I wanted a measured distance, I can arrow down to where it says DL, or direct length, and say I want it to be 6 centimeters in length. And when I do that, it will be a perfect 90-degree angle that's 6 centimeters in length. So that's how you would use the straight function. The parallel function, probably one of my favorite functions in the lines menus, is that it will do a perfectly parallel line to whatever it is that you want. So if I wanted to extend this to add a button wrap, I can click on parallel first, click on a line, and as I move out, I'll have a look up in that dialog box, and it's a positive value. So I can type in a positive value, and it will give me a line that's perfectly parallel by 1.5 centimeters there. If I wanted to add in, say, an armhole facing, I use the parallel, click on here, start to move my mouse in, and it's saying that it's negative. If it says positive, then type positive. If it says negative, type negative. So arrow down, and I'll do a -5 centimeters, and you'll find that that's a perfectly parallel line that's equal distance of 5 centimeters along the way. I'll show you later on how we can extend those lines across if we needed to. With the next function, which is the slanted, what that will allow you to do is it will allow you, rather than a parallel, it's like a parallel that's offset, or not quite, that's a contradiction in terms, but it's a slanted line. So if I click on here, I have a beginning and an end value, and I'm not quite sure which end is the beginning or which one's the end or which point's which, so I'll just try one of them. So if I say type in 0 here and I go 3 here, it's given me 0 there and it's given me 3 there. If I wanted it the other way around, what I can then do is I'll go back and say, okay, let's do 3 and 0, and it will be the opposite way for me. So sometimes you might want to be able to do a slanted line. The next one, which is Bezier, is the main drawing tool, which is very similar to the pen tool in Illustrator. So it's left click to begin the line, left click to place anchor points or holding points. If you want a curve point, you hold down the Shift key and it will give you curves. And if you want to finish the line, it is a right click to finish it. It's one of only a few functions where you need to right click to finish drawing the line. If you want to constrain a line, you can come in and left click to start, Control click to square, shift click to curve, and right click to finish. Semicircular, every second point will be a curve. So if I click and hold down my shift key, and I'm still holding down my shift key, but every second point will be a corner point and every other one will be a curve point. So it's a different way of drawing curves. Trace we won't use, that is if we were connected to a digitizer. We've got something that's called SimAxis and SimTrice, and they work together. So say I had a design line here. I can put a mirror line here, and I just keep it as a short one. And SimTrice will allow me to click on the lines I want flipped over, and it will have reflected or mirrored those lines over for me. So SimAxis and SimTrice work together. Rotate axis and rotate are two new features in the Expert. I won't be demonstrating those, but they're a new feature that exists now in this software, and I haven't got quite a use for it as yet. Duplicate allows you to pick up a line and duplicate it and place it somewhere else. When picking up the line, you can also click on the X to flip over the line over the X-axis, or you can click Y to flip it over the Y. You can also use Q or W to rotate them by positive and negative 1 degree. And you can also use A and S to rotate them positive and negative 10 degrees. Sequence division, the difference between that division and the one up here, because this division lives under points, it divides between points. Sequence division actually divides along a line. So if I've got this line here and I click and hold it, I want to divide it by 4, it will place 3 sliders that are actually on that line. And I'll show you later on how we can strengthen those. So that is a summary of the main F1 lines functions in Madaris.